Howdy. Have you ever thought to yourself, how can I make my 40-year-old paint look brand new? Well, I certainly have. So that's why in today's episode, we are going to be finishing up the paint on this bad boy. But before we can get to all the fun polishing, once again, you see that? We gotta finish that. So what is on the agenda for today? Well, we got a bit of this, maybe a little bit of this, a bit of this, and a bit of, you know what, you guys don't care. Let's just run this time lapse.
And we sure had a lot of work to get to that day. Starting off the day, Cam got to work on bogging and sanding back the roof, as this was our biggest concern for the day and we wanted to make sure it got done as soon as possible. Using an orbital sander and mini sanding discs, he went around ensuring that the roof was sanded down to a nice flat surface, ready to be painted on.
We've actually put enough bog on this roof that you'll actually never be able to know that it's been repaired. So now let's paint it so you can
Now, after moving the car inside and letting it sit for a while, it was time to sand it back down and then give it some base coat.
Well, I've never spray painted anything before, so this is gonna be the first and probably last time that I ever tried this. Not quality.
And that seemed to be a recurring theme for the rest of the day.
Right, so I'm a little bit concerned currently. Somewhere in this frame is a part of the car that we resprayed. So let me know if you can tell where it is. So it was this part up here which we resprayed, but I want you to take a guess with what paint did we respray it with? Was it A, color match paint by color spec, or was it B, generic red gloss paint? All right, time's up. The answer is the generic red gloss spray paint, but 1, this is gloss paint in the can. 2, this is not gloss paint that came out in the slightest. I don't know. And 2, this color matched one is not really matching well. But I know I'm comparing 40-year-old paint to brand new color match paint, but even compared to this, which this is brand new undercover stuff, so this should be the best representation of what the paint should be. When you spray it out, it is not very close. To be fair, the generic one isn't either, but at the moment, Cam and I are looking at it and being like, this cheaper one was a lot better to use. So now I've gone and done the entire corners of the roof and now I'm like, should I have done it on this? But like, surely that can't be the answer. So anyway, that's the update on the painting. We're just gonna let it dry some more, do some more layers, and then we'll see what happens.
Now, moving on to the part that I regret doing, the tailgate. For some reason, that bit of chipped paint annoyed me so much that I had to go make it look much, much worse. Now looking back onto it, 100% I should have left it how it was. So if anyone's selling an MK Patrol tailgate in red, let me know.
So I just want to take a moment to show you something that I've discovered recently. So back when I had my first black Alpha, the black plastic trim, because it's Alfa Romeo, faded like crazy and it would leave like these lighter marks and it was all gross and disgusting. So I had to find a solution to make it darker without like wrapping it because I don't want to make it look stupid. So what I stumbled across was Mr. Black. Now Mr. Black is a black plastic trim restorer. We're going to smack it onto the black plastic here and we're going to see how well it shines up. Mr. Black. First steps first, like most things, give it a clean with some soapy water and make sure there's no dirt because you don't want to basically paint black dirt. get a rag. This is a towel from our rag pile. And this towel will now forever be black. So just keep that in mind. And then just pour it onto the fabric and try not to get on yourself because it's black paint and you're just gonna rub it on. Looks almost odd with having the rest of the car so dirty.
It does look much better.
Yeah. You see what I mean? That looks weird next to that dirty stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon and got up at 8 o'clock this morning and we are finally getting to polishing the rest of the vehicles. I know last episode I only did half of this panel. So by the end of the day, ideally I'm gonna have done the entire vehicle. Because it's been about 2 weeks since I've done this, I need to go and give the car a quick soapy water wash just to get rid of all the residue from the shed and cats crawling over it and whatever. So step 1, soapy water, just to clear off all the dust and immediate debris. So let's do that. So remember last episode when we put electrical tape on this? Turns out that really wasn't a good idea. You guys probably know the drill. Iron decontam and hit it with the clay bar. Ooh, so everything just came directly at me. And look at that. Good God, is that satisfying and disgusting. Now, the eagle-eyed viewers might be able to see that the fact that there's still scratches and paint in this. And they're like, oh, why are you doing all this stuff if there's still scratches and paint? Good question. Okie dokie, next in the rags, the bucket of rags, we've got green towel. So this one is just gonna pick up any of the leftovers, basically make it dry and free from all the shite, all that chemically chemicals that I've just put onto it. Oh, she looks nice. And you guys know the drill by now. Compound, and then let's polish it. Let's do it. So here she is, and I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. Not like too disappointed. I knew this was going to be dog shit, but like, didn't come out perfect the way that we always hoped it to be. But to test my theory on how bad it is, in frame right now are 3 major spots in frame where I've resprayed it. Now, can you tell where they are? Have a look. Can you see them yet? So, either side of me is 2 separate plates that I've done. Done from around here downwards, and this little section here. God, is this a rough paint job. Now, the thing is, this paint is 40 years old, and I got some color matched paint from Super Cheap Auto just to try it out. Let me tell you now, they did not do a good job on the color matching. See that? See how maroon that is? This color match paint was terrible. It was way too magenta for what it should be. So what I ended up doing was using the better stuff, which is the generic one, which is like half the price, if not more, and blending them together, obviously out of the can, so it does a terrible job. But I'll do 1 layer of this, 1 layer of the other to get it closer, because this by itself comes up a little bit too red, and then this by itself is just magenta. Smack them together, you have a shit show right here. That's slightly less noticeable. And it's the same on the other side here. This side down, you can see the bog work there because I did a terrible job. First time bogging. Hopefully last time. Probably will be the last time by the looks of it that anyone will allow me to do this. And yeah, mixture of both because one looks too bright and the other one looks too magenta. So mix them together and it looks all right. This one I'm actually somewhat happy with. Like obviously you can still see it and it's shit, but remember there's going to be a flare here so it doesn't matter too much. I think it blends in quite well when you're not paying attention to it. So far the paint's been... Now let's go take a look at the other side. All right, so same as before. Try and see as many spots as you can that I've resprayed. There and there. So this had a massive hole in it here, so we ended up doing the entire door and whatnot of the ratios, so you can see how much brighter it is if you compare it there to there. They are not the same. And then up here was when we first started and it's just a lot more magenta than it should be. So overall, none of these paints match. So we kind of have this magenta down to bright red thing happening here because colours. So I just want to apologise to any professional or anyone who's actually good at doing these things. I know this is a mess. This is what happens when you use rattle cans for the first time. You get jobs like this. So I would say just leave it to the professionals. And I don't want to talk about the back. So there was this massive hole here, if you remember that, and there was a few chips over here with some stickers. So I was like, okay, if I respray just here, it's going to be very noticeable. So instead, I was like, let's respray the entire top half. That was a bad idea. Now we have magenta. So this is where I found out that magenta doesn't look very good. And then the original paint. And everyone's going to be seeing this, and everyone's going to laugh at me. But oh well. If I make the car dirty enough, you won't be able to tell the difference. So maybe I should go stick it in a mud hole. I also haven't touched up here yet, but I gotta say, I am actually genuinely happy to see it more put together. It looks kind of, I can't say nice, but I'm gonna have to say nice, with it all being red, given it's like 30 different shades of red, but like, overall, it's nice just to take a very far step back so you can't see the details and just, look at it, she's looking better now. So there we are, that's where we're up to with the patrol. So I guess you're gonna have to wait to see what I do to it next.